Hi, I'm Susanna, and this is yoga for the complete beginner who is also a mature adult. So if you've gotten this far in life without ever having done a downward facing dog, it's not too late. I'm going to take you through some of the basic yoga positions that you will find in the average yoga session, and I will give you alternatives, ways to do them that will be safe and appropriate even if you have low bone density. So what will you need? Just a yoga mat would be great, and access to a wall. So gather up what you need and let's get started with some basic yoga postures. Welcome back. Are you ready to breathe? So the deal with yoga is that the word yoga, it translates in Sanskrit to connection or union. And I like to think of it as the connection of your mind, your physical body, and your breath. And that's what separates yoga from just another exercise class. So we're going to start in the foundational position of mountain pose, which is simply standing on 2 feet, but we create a sense of yoga around it by thinking about its name, which is mountain, and the qualities of a mountain, and we have awareness of our breath. Most of the time in yoga, we will breathe in and out through our noses, and that's how we'll do our breath in this first posture, Tadasana, or mountain pose. So 2 feet are hip width apart. Take a moment to bring your mind to the soles of your feet and really press down. Feel what you feel, the soles of your feet, they should be bare. Gripping into your yoga mat, tighten up a little bit your toes, and then take a breath and imagine that this breath is coming from beneath you, from the earth, and it's going to travel up the soles of your feet, the backs of your legs. You start to engage those muscles. Also the kneecaps, the thighs, and all the way on up until you get to the crown of your head. So that's your breathing. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. So don't worry about your technique, just breathe. Inhale and exhale. And on the next breath, we'll bring the arms out to the sides and lift them up overhead. So here we go. Inhale. Arms extend until they're reaching above you. And here you are. Tadasana, mountain pose, your very first yoga position. Hold here, feeling grounded in your feet, but lifted through your crown and your fingertips. And you continue easy breathing in and out through your nose. Excellent. Turn your palms away and sweep the arms back down until they are beside you. And then relax and step out. So let's go through some yoga poses you may have heard of. So this is Yoga 101. Begin with chair pose. So I'm going to stand sideways so you can see me. Doesn't matter what direction you are at. You'll want your feet to be parallel. Essentially, we're going back to mountain. So 2 feet grounded, press into the earth. This is where your mind-body connection comes into play. You want to notice where you are in space. And now it's called chair pose, so you know where we're going. We're going to sit our butts back as if we were going down into a chair. Take the arms up first though, reach them overhead, stretch, and now take a breath in, and on your exhale, hips go back as you sit as deep as feels comfortable for you. So that's the key. And I always play a little bit. I don't just hold. I bend and straighten before I find the place where we'll hold it. And then the breath kicks in. Now your arms in the traditional pose would be extended straight up ahead of you, but they could also be in front of you or on your hips or even in cactus. So you'll find that I offer many options. You find the one that works for you. Arms extended though feels balanced in my view. So see how this feels for you? We're getting stronger. This is a squat. And we know how beneficial squats are. Okay, take a breath, push the earth away as you stand up and release. Stretch up, squeeze your glutes a little bit, and release your arms beside you. Utkatasana, chair pose. Good start. Now, take a wide-ish stance, not too wide, medium wide. Toes pointing forward to begin, and then find your position here for a moment before we move on to warrior position. So here we are, finding breath. Now, you go ahead and take your right foot and point it to the right. Take your left heel, angle it out. Start with a nice straight torso, shoulders are relaxed, and then as you bend the right knee, also extend both arms so they are parallel to the floor. Now this knee can go a little deeper or a little less. You're going to listen to how your knee is feeling, and then essentially you want your knee to go the same direction as your toes. Keep your spine straight and in alignment with your crown. Turn so your gaze is now over your right middle finger. And here you are in warrior pose, Virabhadrasana 2. What's next? The breath. Inhale and exhale through your nose. Now you're welcome to bend and straighten gently and just sort of keep it dynamic with your breath. From warrior 2, we move to reverse warrior. So take your left hand and let it drop to the back of your left leg, right palm to the sky, and all you'll do, you might bend a little deeper and then lean back, arcing this top arm over your head. Reverse warrior. Pretty simple. Breathe. Excellent. And then we can take this into a pose called side angle bend. Your forearm rests on your thigh, but not too hard. Don't collapse down, but rather just use it as a place to gently position this forearm. And then your top hand can go on your hip as you roll your sternum towards the sky a bit, lean back, and then you might take this arm and extend it over your ear. This we call side angle bend. And then the key here is the breath. So you're holding the position, but you're breathing through your nose and experiencing whatever you're experiencing. Excellent. Remember to push down to push up. Release your arms out, pivot both feet forward, relax your arms, and let's step out for a moment. Good. Let's do all of that on the other side. Take a wide stance, wide-ish, not too wide. We'll take your left foot and point it to the left, and we'll take your right heel and angle it behind you. That's your starting position for warrior. Bend the knee. Note that the knee is going the same direction as your toes. Note that your knee is comfortable going that direction, and maybe adjust it. If you would rather it be going a little different angle, it's your knee. Now, spine is nice and straight. Extend your arms and sink deeper. You might press into the edge of that back foot too for stability. Turn your gaze, and that's your warrior 2 in a place of strength and power, deepening your breath a bit here and feeling that warrior energy. Breathing in and out through your nose. I don't know about you, but when I do warrior 2, I feel very empowered. Now take this backhand, your right hand, and let it drop and touch your back leg. Turn your left palm towards the sky, and then that will guide it over into the reverse. Sink a bit deeper. Turn your sternum up a little bit and smile. Warrior reverse. You can probably hear my breath. Go ahead and deepen your own. From reverse warrior, we will take it into side angle bend. So your weight comes over to the side, forearm rests on your thigh, top shoulder rolls back. Hang here for a moment. This forearm is quite light so that your core and your upper body are doing the work that's needed to hold you here. And now option to take the top arm and glide and slide it right over the ear. Point it up and away towards where the ceiling meets the wall. Now you could keep your hand on your hip. That would be another option. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Perfect. Now push away, straighten the leg, extend both arms again, pivot the foot that's pointed forward again, so you're kind of in a pigeon-toed position. Let's bring the heels in, so now you're in a goddess squat position. With your weight and your heels, your chest feels open. So bend and straighten in this squat, and I'll take us into goddess pose. Feel the weight in your heels, bring your arms up, and hold. Turn your palms towards each other so your head is between your hands. Breathe here, feeling your strength, feeling your power. This is actually female warrior pose, the female goddess. Beautiful. Place your hands on your thighs, sink deeper without rounding, and then come on up, shoulders relaxed. Pivot your 2 feet forward and step out. Excellent. So you've learned warrior 2 and side angle bend. Let's move on to warrior 1. So warrior 1 is done where the hips are going the same direction. Remember warrior 2, our hips are open. Warrior 1, our hips are linear, more or less. So we'll do that on the mat facing, if that's the right side of your mat, that's the top of your mat. So from here, we'll take a lunge with the right foot and step it forward. So a nice lunge, take a step. Now your back foot angles, similar to warrior 2, except it's a deeper angle so that your hip bones are pointing to the right. That's your warrior 1 stance. Play with it. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. If you're feeling unstable, try separating your feet so there's more room for your hips. Also, you could step in more and bend less. So I invite you to find a warrior 1 foot position that feels stable for you. Take your time. Okay, in warrior 1, hip bones are going the same direction. Arms come up, inhale, bend your knee more if it feels okay to do that. Breathe into however you're experiencing that stretch in the back of your leg. And cactus your arms today. Pull back the shoulder blades together and spread your fingers wide. Hold here. Great. Place your hands on your hips and step that back foot up to meet the front foot. So 2 feet come back to your starting mountain position. Very good. Let's do warrior 1 on the other side. So I'm going to turn around simply so that I can see you and you can see me. So again, we begin 2 feet. We'll lunge with the left. We'll angle the right. We'll adjust our position so we feel stable. At the same time as the legs are stable, the upper body is lifted. Take both arms in front of you so that they're parallel, and then reach them overhead. And at the same time, sink a little deeper in your legs. Feel that warrior energy again, and then I am a fan of cactus arms here because it opens the chest, which is great for posture. Breathe. All of these positions can be done with different arm positions, but you've got the general gist of the warrior 1. Hands on your hips. Now step forward, back foot is going to step to meet the front foot. 2 feet together, release your arms. Nice job. Okay, step out wide again. Next up, triangle pose. Take your, once again, right foot to the right and angle your left foot, but you've got a wider stance than you did with warrior, just a little wider. But it's the same warrior 2 feet, essentially. Extend your arms, and for preparing for triangle, we're going to let those hips go side to side. So I'm taking my left hip back and forward, okay? So we've moved our hips a little bit. Now let's move the upper body a little bit. So stretch, reach, slide and glide. Now, let your torso feel lifted. Inhale, exhale, simply bend over until your right hand will come somewhere on your leg. To start with, let's place the left hand on our hip and roll your top shoulder back. This hand is very light. Your leg is straight, but if it feels like you've hyper straightened it, bend it a teeny bit so that you can have a soft bend in this knee. Now, in the full position, top arm goes straight up, and look at all those triangles you've created. Don't forget to breathe. I invite you to engage your butt muscles a bit. And now on your next breath, stretch up, arms out, both feet forward. Hands on your hips. We'll do a little teeny back bend here. So take your feet at a slight angle again, as we did before when we did the goddess, but this time we will keep the legs straight, send your hip bones forward and your sternum to the sky. Lift up. So it's a small back bend. It's opening up the chest and you're breathing. And then back up to center. Relax your arms. Triangle, other direction. Straighten the left foot. Angle the right foot. Have a fairly wide stance. Feel strong and grounded in your stance. Extend the arms. Hips side to side. Now relax. Stop moving the hips and slide and glide your torso. Preparation for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Good. Now reach and float. So it's really easy. Just come till your hand touches somewhere on your leg, your knee, all the way down your calf. What you don't want is to go so far down that your chest is over the mat. No, that would mean come up again. The idea is to be fairly flat. Hand is really light. Top arm can be straight up, top arm can be on hip. Breathe. And you might say, where should my head be? Well, you decide. You could look straight at me. You could look up towards your hand. Breathe. Good job. Reach up. Extend the arms out. Pivot your foot forward. Soften the knees and step it out. All right, here we go with downward facing dog. Well, first up, we have my favorite variation for downward dog, and it may be exactly the way you will do your downward dogs going forward. It's called wall dog. So you'll need a wall. So find a wall, and then you'll stand in front of it with your feet hip width apart. You'll reach up, mountain pose, and then bend your knees a little bit, hinge forward at your hips, and press your hands into the wall shoulder distance apart. And the point here is to try to find a place where your upper body is straight and bend your knees a little, take your tailbone behind you. So I want your knees to be slightly bent, and I want your top body, your arms, your crown to your tailbone to be quite straight. Hi. Got that? So the point of this is that it is a forward bend, but it's only part way. So you want to have the knees bent. And what did I say the point was? The point is to lengthen the spine and work the backs of the legs a little bit. Find your breath in wall dog. You are welcome to see if you can straighten the legs without your lower back rounding. If your legs can straighten without the lower back rounding, cool. But it's not necessary to do that. Take your tailbone behind you and keep your spine straight, straight, straight. And breathe. Great. To release from this, bend your knees a little more and then just walk up and release your arms. Okay, you've successfully done a variation of downward dog called wall dog, but now we're going to try the real deal downward dog. And again, if you choose not to do this full variation, go back up to your wall. Now, to do downward dog, we got to get down. Let's do so in a smart way. This is how I recommend getting down to your mat. Lunge forward with one foot and then just lower the other knee down until you're down. Bring two knees together. Now you're on what I call tall kneeling. Knees, hips, and shoulders are in alignment, tall kneeling. But let's move on further to table position. Plant your hands down so they're right underneath your shoulders. Your knees are underneath your hips. Your fingers are spread wide, and you're intentionally in what we call table position. In this table, we will do a bit of movement, keeping the spine straight. So warming up for our downward dog, we'll glide forward and glide back a bit. Glide forward and glide back. Good. And now pause. So downward facing dog is a forward bend upside down. So that means I want you to keep your knees bent because we do not want to round the spine, but the whole point is to lengthen the spine. So feel strong in your hands, push your knees up off the floor, take your hips up behind you, and then readjust your feet so they're a little wider, and then bend your knees deeply and send your tailbone away from you. So you press your hands into the mat, arms are strong, tailbone lifted, spine is straight, neck is relaxed. Now you can pedal out, so alternate heels drop, and see if you can sense if your spine is straight. If the heels go down and the back rounds, then we don't want to do that. We want to bend the knee and have the spine be straight. Release by dropping to your knees and then do a transition position that feels relaxing. So child's pose is an option. It's bringing your hips back to your heels and then arms might be extended or beside you. Child's pose is actually not the most comfortable for many of us older adults. So I love puppy stretch. And my version of puppy, forearms are down, hips are lifted, let your chest relax. You might even stack your hands and rest your forehead on your stacked hands. The point here is simply to find a counter pose to that downward dog, relaxing back. Okay, so extended child's, puppy, anything at all that feels like a release. And now from here, we'll go to our bellies to do a back bend. Come on down. So this next back bend is really important for strengthening the spine. It's called Locust Pose. So bring your chin to the floor, arms beside you, palms face down, and legs are extended behind you. Lift and lower your legs intentionally. Just lift and stretch each leg. Then lower them down, and then focus on your upper body. So we're going to bring the chest and the head and the arms up as we keep the legs down 3 times. Ready? Inhale, lift and lower. Do it again. Lift and lower. And last time, lift, lower. And if you would like to, you may lift both legs as well. And this is Locust, which is a fantastic way to use yoga to strengthen your spine because the muscles of your vertebrae are working really hard here. Also great for posture because you're opening the chest and your hips are working as well. So Locust is one of my favorite all-purpose strengthening postures. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Hold, hold, hold. And relax. Good. To counterpose from this, you could place your hands by your chest, curl your toes, and push back. Send the hips behind you once again in a type of puppy. I call it puppy. It's in between a downward dog and a child. Right? A puppy. And then we will come back to the belly for Sphinx. Forearms come in front of you, parallel to each other. Elbows under shoulders, palms are face down, fingers are spread. Isometrically drag the forearms back towards your body and gently lift the sternum and look forward. This is an option, this Sphinx pose, if you're ever called upon to do Cobra or upward facing dog. Those are more advanced back bends, and Sphinx is a wonderful alternative. Breathing. Now you'll relax your chest, relax your arms, and find crocodile pose. Forearms are right in front of you, stacked. Head can rest, forehead rests on your stacked wrists. And there you go. You really need to relax here, so just rock your hips and pelvis out. Maybe even pick up your feet and windshield wiper them, because we're releasing tension now in the lower back. Lower the legs back down and relax. Excellent. And now we will transition again. Push yourself up and carefully come onto your back. So you can stay low to roll over, because that's a really safe way, if you're on your side, to come onto your back. So find a safe way to come to your back. Plant your feet on the mat, knees are bent, arms beside you, and take a moment to settle here before we move up into the back bend, the bridge. Tune into your body. Feet are grounded. Lift your toes and spread them. Press down on your feet with your toes lifted. Relax them down. Now, find your lower back. Press it into the floor. Do a few pelvic tilts here. Squeeze your butt and lift your tailbone off the floor. Then reverse it and slide your hand underneath your lower back. So press your lower back down and lift your tailbone up. Squeeze your butt and reverse it. So these are really important movements to make this practice really effective. Okay, and now upper body, head is nice and grounded. You might roll your head gently side to side. Base of your skull is on the floor. Prepare now for bridge. So root down to whatever's touching the floor, arms, feet, head, and lift your hips up off the floor. Lift them only as high as you get a nice straight line from your knee, hips to shoulders. Press down on those forearms and lift up with your hips. Squeeze your inner thighs. Find your breath. This is called bridge or Setu Bandhasan. Give you another alternative for your arms. You can bring them down and roll more onto your arms and shoulders, interlacing the fingers. Gives you more leverage, but please don't lift your rib cage, just the hip bones. Notice what's tense and relax it, like your face. To release, let the arms come out first, and then come down in a one motion of your spine and your back, and then allow your feet to rise up off the floor and rock gently side to side. Do a quick twist to one direction. Extend one leg and let the knee go over only so it's parallel to the floor. And back to center. Extend the other leg. Hand guides knee across. Come back to center. And lastly, pick up those knees and just do a gentle flutter kick and a gentle arm shake and hand and wrist shake. And you might move your head a little side to side. So this is a funny final exercise called dying bug pose. But it's really important to let go of any tension, mental, emotional, or physical. And this is a silly way to do it. So smile and shake. Move that energy around. Shake, 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 shake. Okay, cool. Now, hands on top of your knees. That's it. Except for final relaxation. Important, maybe the most important yoga pose. We will find a way to do it so it's so comfortable. You're going to relax for about 2 minutes. You have an opportunity right now to decide what position you should take for this relaxation moment. Extend your legs. Bring your arms out to the sides, palms face up. That might be it. This is the traditional Shavasana. But if your lower back is not happy, you'll want to bend your knees, in which case, please bend your knees. You might even let the knees touch. You may grab a pillow and put them underneath your knees. Also, if you are at all cold, grab a fleece or a blanket and put it on top of yourself. And if you have something to put over your eyes, that's always nice as well. So, get yourself into a comfortable Shavasana or relaxation position, and I will take a few moments to guide you through final relaxation. So once you are in position, it's wonderful to have the palms face up and feel a sense of opening of the chest and feet relaxed and legs are relaxed, knees, hips. Bringing awareness to your spine and release and relax each and every vertebra up and down your spine. Shoulders, arms, wrists, and hands, fingertips relaxed. Back of your neck, throat, jaw. Bridge of your nose, eyes, temples, and forehead. Back of your skull. Everything lets go. Just let go. There's nothing to do and there's nowhere to go. Simply be with your breath. Please allow the sound of this singing bowl to gently bring you back. You're coming back into the space you're in, into your room, awareness of sounds in your room, awareness of sensation in your body. And slowly start your movement, stretching, wiggling, fingers, toes, and then carefully, mindfully, roll to one side and push your way up into a comfortable seat. If you're comfortable sitting cross-legged, fine. If you'd like to sit on a cushion, great, or a chair. But we'll end together, hopefully, if you're with me still, in a seated position. And I'd just like to give you this opportunity to bring it all together. Feel the sense of connection, body, mind, and breath. In a seated position, close your eyes. Inhale through your nose and allow the chest to gently expand in 360 degrees around. It's a real easy, soft breath. Exhale through your nose. One more time. Think of expanding your chest, forward, sides, and back. And exhale. Then the hands come together, you rub them. And we end by just wishing each other well, saying namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you so much. So glad you got to the end of this session with me. You are no longer a complete beginner. And yet we all are always beginners, right? So we can go back and do this one again, or branch out and try other videos, other yoga sessions. So if you enjoyed today's video, you can click the like button and let me know that you liked it. And if you're new to my Forever Yoga channel, subscribe. And I've got many, many videos available that are, for the most part, are 100% appropriate if you have low bone density, as long as you use your own intelligence to move with awareness. And what else? Oh, if you go below this video, there's a place where you can sign up for my email list and find out how I increased my own bone density, what I did, and you'll get an email that explains my story. And if you're not yet a member of the Strong Bones Facebook group, well, there's a link below and you can request to join my Facebook group and get support of like-minded women. Thank you so much and have an awesome day.